Stumbling Colonel Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey presents your favorite legend of the West, Johnny True, the colorblind cowboy who only sees things in black and white.
No shades of gray for this cowpoke.
Tonight's episode, I Love the Lord, but Oh You Kid. As our story opens, Johnny True is singing for the children over at Miss Kathy's regional orphan dealership.
Down by the creaky-covered wagon near the cotton willow tree, next to Cousin Bobby's cabin where the stables used to be. Beyond the public bathhouse and the private bathhouse too, and the dry goods store in Allentown where I took off my shoe. Yippee-ki-yay, yippee, yippee-ki-yay, listen to us sing about our stuff. Yippee-ki-yay, yippee, yippee-ki-yay-yo, singing, 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 sing. Yodelididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididididid hee-hoo. You little hee-hoo. You hee-hoo, you hee-hoo, you hee-hoo.
Johnny. Hey, Johnny. Johnny. Hey, Johnny. Johnny. Hey, Johnny. Johnny!
What?
Johnny True, you've got to come quick. God is pouring down his wrath on Settlers Village.
God did that?
Yep, it's plagues and locusts and furniture being moved slightly.
Then we better strap on our guns and ride on out there.
But Johnny...
Yes, little discount orphan girl?
Shouldn't you examine the issues more carefully and consider the nuances of the situation before riding off with guns a-blazing?
Well, that may be good for some folks who go to fancy colleges and write long letters to the zoning board, but I can only see things in black and white. Now, which one's my horse?
The brown one. The lighter one.
Let's ride!
And so Johnny True set out towards Settlers Village, so named because a lot of settlers lived there and it had about 800 people, thus fitting the technical definition of a village. That's where Johnny chanced upon a strange young woman.
Whoa, horse. Excuse me, ma'am, Why, hello there. What might your name be?
It might be Rachel. It might not. Either way, you're on my family's ranch.
Well, pardon me for being forward, ma'am. I'm Johnny True, the colorblind cowboy, and this is my faithful Indian sidekick, Alan Kozlovich.
I'm 1/8 Navajo.
You know, women usually confuse and anger me. Can't tell if they're good or bad, black or white. But your skin is so white, and your clothes are so black.
My skin is white because I'm albino. My clothes are black because I'm a Hasidic Jew.
Well, my darling Hasidic albino, perhaps you might let me visit you sometime.
Maybe. We're Jews. We have a lot of days off.
Rachel, why are you talking to that strange goyim?
Sorry, Mother.
Howdy, ma'am. I'm Johnny True, the colorblind cowboy, and this is my Indian sidekick, Alan Kozlovich.
Full disclosure, I'm mostly not Indian.
And we heard the Lord put a curse on this village.
Yes. God appeared to us himself.
God, huh? What'd he look like?
He looked like a man with a sack over his head.
That does sound like God, all right.
He threatened plagues and locusts. And next we knew, some cows got turned inside out. And bookmarks mysteriously got taken out of books.
Why would God do a thing like that?
Thank heavens Larry Wrigley just offered to buy this place.
Boss Wrigley of Wrigley Ranch?
He said he'll buy our land for half the price. Not bad money for a place that's cursed.
Boss Wrigley is usually such a sour Gus, but here he is helping people out. How can a guy be good and bad at the same time?
Now, if you'll excuse us, we have to get back to putting bookmarks where they're supposed to be.
Not long afterwards, boss Larry Wrigley over at Wrigley Ranch is a schemin'. Now listen, boys, you're probably wondering why I had you put sacks on your heads and go around shouting you were God.
I weren't wondering.
Seems normal.
My engineers say there's valuable bauxite under Settlers Village. We could dig it all up and make a fortune if we just get those people out of there.
Well, how about buying the land at fair market value since you're making a profit anyway?
Oh, that'll never work.
Well, how about going into partnership with the settlers on mining rights, but getting an incredible deal because they don't understand the contract?
Be realistic.
Well, how about buying land next to the village where there's probably also bauxite and just mining there?
Get serious, why don't you?
How about...
Well, look, I just like turning cows inside out, all right?
Sure, no problem.
I don't have an opinion.
Yay, visitors!
Yes?
I'm Johnny True, the colorblind cowboy, and this is my faithful Indian sidekick, Alan Kozlovich.
I'm also a licensed notary.
Uh-huh. And how can I help you, gentlemen?
Well, as you know, Settlers Village has been cursed by God.
I've heard tell.
But, you know, someone at Settlers Village said God's horse hit a hedge while he was riding away. Well, that got me thinking. Could God make a hedge so big that God's horse couldn't get around it?
I suppose not.
So we thought we'd solve this mystery. And since you've been so nice about buying people's land at half price, well, maybe you wanted to help us figure it out.
Uh-huh. Well, why don't you boys come on in?
That door closed awfully hard behind us.
So tell me about this plan of yours.
Well, if anyone can catch miscreants and fakers, it's me and my Indian sidekick, Alan Kozlovich.
Sorry.
I see.
Why, if we somehow disappeared, this mystery would never get solved.
Is that right?
So it's a good thing we're not suddenly dead for some reason, or criminals could get away with anything. Well, I guess we'll be going.
Okay, well, good luck, boys. Hey, wait a minute. You're not going anywhere, Johnny True. Put your hands up. We'll return to Johnny True, the colorblind cowboy, after this.
Hi, kids. I'm Johnny True's faithful Indian sidekick, Alan Kozlovich. When I'm not almost getting killed for some reason, I'm enjoying a fine Kentucky bourbon with my good friend, Colonel Longstreet Beauregard Lackluster, better known as the Stumbling Colonel. Is there something you'd like to say to the kids out there, Colonel?
You know, boys and girls, your mother and father suffer anxieties in ways they won't be able to explain to you for quite some time. That's why I offer a special family edition of my Stumbling Colonel Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. The sweet, sweet color and dark brown flavor make it go down easy for young and old alike, and help ameliorate the torment and crippling second thoughts of a tedious and repetitive life.
Cheers to that, Colonel.
Stumbling Colonel Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It dulls the pain. And now let's check back on Johnny True, the colorblind cowboy. I said put your hands up, Johnny True.
Boss Wrigley of Wrigley Ranch, why are you pointing that gun at me and my Indian sidekick, Alan Kozlovich?
Part Indian.
Because you're the only thing standing between me and the valuable bauxite underneath the town.
I wasn't sure if you were good or bad, Larry Wrigley, but you're pure evil.
Yeah? Well, what if I told you I'll use my profits from this bauxite to start a college for the poor?
Well, that's good.
What if he charges high tuition?
Well, that's bad.
But what if that's the only economic model that'll keep the college in business?
Well, that's good.
But what if the college's lab experiments on animals?
Well, that's bad.
But what if them experiments created drugs that saved millions of people?
Well, that's good.
But what if those millions of extra people caused a population explosion?
You know, I'd rather you just shot me.
Fine. Say your prayers, Johnny True.
I don't know any prayers, Wrigley.
That's okay, Johnny. I know some people who do.
What the fuck? I mean, what in the blazes?
It's hundreds of acidic albinos. They've got this house surrounded.
Alan Kozlovich, how did you set this up?
Along with being 1/8 Indian, I'm also 1/8 Jewish, plus 1/8 Polish, 1/8 Afghan, and 1/8 Indian. From India. I'm also half female on my mother's side.
Johnny True.
Rachel.
Acidic albinos are everywhere.
Now you see everything in black and white like I do, Wrigley. And it's gonna be black and white stripes for you. In jail.
This has been Johnny True, the colorblind cowboy who only sees things in black and white. Brought to you by Stumbling Colonel Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Put it in your milk, kids.